Lose fat, build strength, and feel amazing. I'm going to share with you 5 simple steps. My name's Mark Saunders, and I'm a fitness coach with 40 plus years of experience coaching other people, also along with just training and competing myself. And now I'm expanding into helping people understand health and wealth and everything in between. I'm on this journey with you, learning and sharing along the way. So when it comes to our fitness goals, I feel like there are the number one thing, doing a volume check, the number one thing I feel is important for you is to have a clear, specific goal, right? So with that in mind, let's do a little goal setting exercise right now. If you could wave a realistic magic wand and you could have your body, your health, your energy, any kind of way you wanted it to be over the next year or so, what would that look like for you? Get clear and specific. If you can dial it down into a specific body weight and a body fat percent, that's the best case scenario for. It's not necessarily the best case scenario, but it's a very solid goal, right? I feel like that works for almost everybody in general, setting a body weight and a body fat percent. The reason why I like that is because it's very specific. When setting goals, I feel like it's really important to have them very clear and very specific, right? Now, once you have your goal all set up, what we're going to do, I'm going to ask you to write this down. If you have pen and paper, is you're going to do an affirmation/prayer. So the affirmation/prayer goes like this. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then you state your body weight and you state your body fat percent. I'll do it again. I am happy and grateful now that I am, you state your body weight and your body fat percent. That gives you that's a very clear, very specific affirmation. And think about it for a minute. What are we saying when we say that? I am happy and grateful right now for the goal that I'm shooting for. So say, for example, I'll use myself as an example because I'm learning along with you. I'm currently about 183 pounds at 10% body fat. My goal is to add more muscle. My specific goal is to be at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. So how I phrase that affirmation/prayer is, I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. So now, once you have this affirmation/prayer down, I encourage you to say it every day, particularly in the morning when you start your day. I do it when I'm on the way to the training studio. I say, I'm happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. I say it with meaning and feeling, and I pray it like it's already happened. That's the whole idea behind this affirmation is we're putting it out there that I'm happy and grateful right now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. I'm putting it out there, right? And I want you to consider doing the same thing. So one more time, I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then state your body weight and state your body fat percent. Now, once you have that, let's look at the 5 simple steps that works for myself, my clients, and I'm encouraging you to look at it. Proper training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. Those are the 5 simple steps. Training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. Let's break these down. Let's look at training. All right. With training, I feel it's real important to have a combination of both strength training and cardiovascular training. Combo. Imagine for a moment that we have a twin engine airplane, and one engine is cardio engine and one engine is strength training engine. Now, if you're flying along and you have both engines are equally as strong, that is optimized for the flight, right? And that's what I feel like for our exercise, to have a combination of strength training and cardiovascular training, a blend of those. That's what's going to optimize your training situation, your exercise situation. Now, how do you make up a quality training program? I feel like there are basically 5 key principles that make up a good training program: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Let's break them down. Let's look at proper form. Now, why would you think proper form is important? Well, it's kind of obvious when you think about it, but let's break it down for a minute. I feel there are basically 2 big reasons. One is so that you don't get an injury, and that is really huge, not getting an injury, because getting an injury is a major setback for any of us. So proper form will go a long ways towards preventing injury. And then number 2, so that we're working the proper muscles. Say, for example, say we're doing a bicep curls, and say if we're doing a nice curl like this, but then what if we go like this, right? Like some people curl like that. So you could hurt your back. You're not being effective. But with proper form, we're being effective and we're low risk of injury. All right, so that's proper form. So the second principle that makes up a good training program is variety. Why would it be important to add variety into your program? Think about it. Well, it kind of makes sense, but think about it. 2 big reasons. One is we'll mentally get bored. I know a lot of people get tired of doing the same exercises over and over again. But then more than that, I feel which is more and more important is that our body gets bored. And have you ever hit a plateau, or do you understand what a plateau is? A plateau is when you're trying to get to the next level and you just stuck and you just can't break. Well, I feel like a lot of times that occurs in people's routines is because of a lack of a variety. Now, what are some ways to add variety? Changing the way you structure your entire routine is a good way to add variety. Changing the exercises inside for different exercises is another way to get variety. Changing the rep patterns, sometimes low reps, 6 to 8, sometimes high reps, 25 to 30. Then you can change the tempo, the speed of the movement, maybe 3 seconds on the way down, 0 at the bottom, 1 second up, or 2 seconds on the way down, 1 second at the bottom, 2 seconds on the way up, 1 second at the top. There's lots of ways to add variety. I encourage you to keep that variety coming to your routine. While we're on the topic of variety, consider downloading my app. It is a free app. It's on the Google Play Store or the Apple Connect Store. Search for Workouts for All, Workouts, the number 4, ALL. It's a free download. Set up a free account. Weekly adding new routines. It's going to be free to everyone. So consider that. And there's diet resources on there. The best motivational videos I'm loading on there, the ones that perform the best. So consider that as a free download in the Apple or Google Play Store. So we talked about proper form, variety. Now let's look at intensity. What comes to mind when you think about the power of intensity and why that is important into a good program? might make sense kind of on the surface, but let's break it down a little bit. Training, when we work out in the gym, when we're working, or wherever you're working out, when we're working out, we're basically breaking the muscles down. So we're just breaking it down. It's through the rest and recovery that the muscles grow back and build more muscle. So when you're working out, and say we're going for 12 repetitions, and we're going 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we barely get number 12, but we got number 12. What's the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? Be the last few, right? And the reason why is because that's where the breakdown occurs. That's where the intensity is. That's where you're stressing that muscle out. So that's why the next day or 2 or 3, it's going to grow back and overcompensate and grow back more muscle, more strength. And that's going to help you feel amazing and lose fat. The fourth training principle is proper training principles. There are a lot of different training principles. Sometimes they're called shocking principles, such as compound sets, supersets, rest pause training, circuit training, up and down the racks, 21s. I mean, there's bunches of them. I encourage you to go on Google or ChatGPT and search and just start and learning about them and just get curious. Go at learning more and being more effective. Go at it with a child's-like enthusiasm and just learning and exploring and trying to learn what you can about how to build out a good quality training program. What you would search for is shocking training principles, or you might search for training principles, something like that. So we've covered proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and the last but not least point to build a proper training program is consistency. Now, what do you think about when you think about the power and the principle of consistency in a training program? Well, we'll think about it for a minute. Imagine, say you have you and say you have a twin of you, and say we're going to have the same goals. You start off, you exercise the way you should. Most like 90% or better. You eat 90% or better. You get your sleep 90% or better. But the other person starts off that way and then skips workouts here and there, skips good meals now and then, and has more processed food, doesn't always get enough sleep. At the end of the year, who is going to have the best progress? It'd be the consistent version of yourself. So let's summarize proper training principles. We looked at proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Those are the 5 elements that make up a good training program. And those are the things I'm going to be including on the app for free in the Apple or Google Play Store under workouts, the number 4, all. But regardless, start including them in for yourself. Proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Now let's look at nutrition. Imagine for a moment that we want to build a beautiful 2-story house from scratch. And imagine that we only have half the materials necessary to build the house. How far are we going to get? Probably about halfway, part of the way, right? The foods that you and I eat on a daily basis, the foods that we all eat, are what builds our bodies. So whether you're trying to lean down, or if you're trying to just lose weight altogether, or if you're someone that's trying to build muscle and gain weight, the foods that you eat on a daily basis are like the supplies that goes towards building your body. So what do I recommend to consider for nutrition? I recommend a whole food, plant-based diet composed of about 50% fruits and vegetables, 25% whole grains, and 25% plant-based proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, seeds. If you want to do a little deeper dive into nutrition, consider watching The Game Changers. It's on Netflix and YouTube, and it does a great job of explaining the science behind why this works, and it's very entertaining. I encourage you to please look at it. I'd love to get your take on it. Now let's do a little bit deeper dive into nutrition. I feel like there are basically 4 different ways nutrition affects our bodies. It affects our metabolism, our energy levels, our blood sugar levels, and our insulin levels. So those are the things that are affected by the way we eat. Now imagine for a moment that we have a fireplace, and we want to get a fire going into the fireplace. On one hand, we have a stack of oak wood, and on the other hand, we have a stack of paper. Now, not including kindling and getting the fire started, but if you had to choose between the oak wood or the paper to burn in your fireplace, which one would you pick and why? Well, most of us would pick the oak wood, and the reason why is because it's going to burn longer, slower, and more consistently, right? So whole food, plant-based foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes, lentils, nuts, and seeds, things like that, they burn real slow. They have high fiber. They burn real slow, and like that oak wood, it's going to give you a nice, steady burn throughout the day. So just to summarize how nutrition affects us, it is on metabolism, our energy levels, our insulin levels, and our blood sugar levels. So consider being very thoughtful about how you take your nutrition. Now, let's do a deep dive into recovery. So when it comes to recovery, I've been fascinated about this topic for many years now. Earlier, I'm 56 now. When I was in my 30s and 40s, I did not a very good job with recovery and sleeping. I'm really trying to do good now. And so over the last few years, I've had the opportunity of training 3 different neurologists. One's a neuroradiologist, and I've done a lot of research. And what I've come up with is, and I've talked to them, and plus the research, I've come up with that I feel that 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep a night is the optimal range for almost everyone. And then about 2 hours of deep and 2 hours of REM. Now, what can we do to optimize our sleep? A few things you can consider doing. One is consider having the same go to sleep time and the same go to wake up time every day best you can. Then consider at least not eating 2 hours before sleep time. And the reason for that is because when we eat, our metabolism is boosted. When our metabolism is boosted, our body heat goes up. When we go to sleep, we want a cooler body temperature. We don't want to go to sleep with an elevated temperature. So if you can time your meals further back before sleep, that's better. And I'm even, some days I do 3 and 4 hours before sleep, but at least 2. But consider at least 2. And then a few other things you can do is eliminate, have nice dark room at night, minimize the TVs and laptops and stuff like that. And then in the morning, you can go outside and get if possible, and enjoy the fresh morning sun. That begins your circadian rhythms. And sometimes too, when the sun goes down, I like to go outside for a few minutes and let my eyes relax and do dark eye looking and like at the nighttime. And it helps set our circadian rhythms. So far, with the 5 simple steps, we've broken down training, nutrition, recovery. Now let's look at supplementation. When it comes to supplementation, I feel there are basically 2 different categories of supplementation: nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. With Nutritional supplementation, that's like a smoothie. And I have lately I've been having 3 smoothies a day because I'm building. So it's a nutritional supplement. You can have plant-based, like I'm using I'll even show you. I have a couple things here. One. So this is an example of 2 examples of, this is Orgain. This is and this is a weight gainer, both plant-based. But that's nutritional. Whoops. That's nutritional supplementation. Okay. And then there's enhancement performance supplementation. And here we go. This is an example of enhancement performance supplementation. This is Alkaline. It's creatine, basically buffered creatine. Let's see here, kind of glary. But I don't have any affiliate links for these, but I'm just sharing them with you. But so that's nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. Then last but not least, let's look at the mindset. So when it comes to the mindset and fitness, I feel like mindset is huge. So imagine for a moment that you're on a construction site and you're building a huge tower building, and you have these big cranes out front, and they have the person in the box controlling the crane. Well, the person in the box is like your brain, your mind, and the crane is a representation of your body. So the idea here is that your mind tells your body what to do, not the other way around. So when you set up your program that you're going to do, your fitness program, your nutrition program, your mind tells your body, this is what we're doing, not the other way around. If it wants to skip a workout or skip a meal or eat some junk, our mind controls our body, not the other way around. Now, with that in mind, going back to the affirmation/prayer, that's going to help train your mind. So every day, if you're open to it, say your affirmation/prayer. I am happy and grateful now that I am. State your body weight and your body fat percent. I'll use myself as an example. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. Right? So you say that every day, that's going to strengthen your mind. Now, just to kind of summarize everything, to lose fat, build strength, feel amazing, going to follow the 5 simple steps of training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. And daily saying your goals in the present tense. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and state your body weight and your body fat percent. Do it daily with meaning, with feeling. Now, if you can do this path on your own, great. Some people can, some people can't. If this is a struggle for you, I encourage you to reach out for help. If you live in the Tucson area, I train at a beautiful studio here in Tucson. It's on the corner of Sunrise and Swan, overlooking the foothills. It is gorgeous. I love it. And if you want to train, we could train there. If you do not live in my area, I do offer a very good service called Premium Fitness Coaching. And what that is I help you set up your own routine and diet. I put it all in the app for you. Then I work with you. I'll hold you accountable to following through and encourage you along the way. We can talk on the phone. We can talk on Zoom. But whatever it is, we go hand in hand and get you through that process. And it's actually about 1/3 of the cost of personal training. So if you're interested in that type of service, please message me the word FIT to 520-400-9573. And that'll tell me that you're wanting to do a consultation, and we can meet each other and go over it, and I can share with you everything and then get to know you and your goals and share with you how I can coach you along that process. All right, well, I'm gonna wrap it up with there. And remember that health is wealth. Without our health, what difference does it make what earthly possessions we have? Health is wealth. Consider taking care of your health. Get your blood work done. Follow the 5 simple steps: training, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, mindset. My goal is to come at you every Tuesday, Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I also do finance. So if you're interested in investing and any of that kind of stuff, be on the lookout for that. I do a daily market update with Bitcoin on Monday through Friday. And plus there's lots of flips and shorts that I share off of those. So be on the lookout for all that. Be sure to like and comment and subscribe. I appreciate any of that support. It helps the channel boost the algorithms and the reach. So thank you very much. Be blessed. And I'll see you, God willing, next time, Thursday for fitness, and tomorrow morning with market update.